Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. This is Dream Another Day Tarot, and this is going to be a reading for whoever needs to hear it. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does, leave the rest for somebody else. Please also keep in mind that gender is fluid in tarot, okay? So just place yourself where you fit in the story. And also, I will use gender neutral language, okay, as much as possible in order to make these readings more inclusive. We've got the Tower in reverse coming out. I'm not going to take it in the spread because I need to say my affirmations first. But if you're interested in any of my other disclaimers, they're all down in the description box. That's also where you'll find all the info you need to book a personal reading with me. Drop me a donation if you'd like. Check out my link tree for all my other socials. I am on TikTok and Instagram as well, where I do shorter readings. And that is how you will contact me for anything you need, okay? Is through Instagram. All right, thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and get into this reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. Wow. Okay, we will address this. Thank you so much for your divine guidance, and we know we couldn't do this without you, Spirit. Would you please help guide the collective for their highest good, and please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Wow. Okay. That's never happened before. I'm not even going to lie to you. Okay. Tower in reverse. The first message I'm getting here is don't destroy your blessings. I know that's like a crazy thing to say, but don't destroy your foundation. Whatever it is you've been working on so far is totally worth it. The Tower in reverse talks about avoiding disaster. Okay. So if you're in this place of transition, okay, this is the message that's coming through. If you're in this place of transition where you're not really sure what's going to happen next or what to do next, but you feel that there's a change coming, you may feel tempted to take some sort of drastic action, take some sort of leap of faith, etc., and kind of move on from whatever it is that you're doing now to move into something new. Now, Spirit is just giving you a little heads up here that temptation to move forward, you want to avoid kind of shaking up your foundation too much. Okay. You want to kind of avoid disaster here. So if there's anything here that you are wanting to walk away from, give up on, stop doing, change drastically, Spirit's saying hold out. Okay. Hold out a little bit, okay? For some of you, you may be wanting to move, okay? But you're kind of like you have to put in your 30 days before you can, be in a position to move into a place by a certain time, etc. Spirit's saying hold out. Don't do that just yet because you don't want to destroy your foundation, okay? Housing is very scarce and challenging right now, okay? So it's very competitive. And so this is very literal that I'm getting this message, but you don't want to end up without housing, okay? That's what I'm getting here. So now is not the time to take a leap of faith when it comes to your housing. Okay, we got another card coming out, hitting the ground here. Whoa, this is definitely turning into like a warning reading. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, you do not want to leave yourself destitute, okay? I'm getting that very strongly. You do not want to mess with your finances right now or your housing, okay? And this is very, very literal for some of you out there. I mean, this could be talking about foundational relationships also. Like you don't want to necessarily ice somebody out just yet because you may be feeling a certain sort of way. And, this can also talk about like fear of abandonment also. So recognize that you may be feeling a little triggered right now. Okay, you could be feeling a little triggered, and that may cause you to make some drastic decisions when it comes to your housing, your work, your relationships, whatever. And you might want to ice people out or something, or move on from something, or I don't know, but Spirit's saying like that's not necessarily a wise choice right now. I don't know. I'm just getting that feeling like you want to be careful right now. Things are very precarious. Look at that. Page of Wands in reverse. It's not time yet. Page of Wands is all about starting something new and starting something fresh, okay, and passionate and starting over and stuff. Spirit's saying now is not the time to start over, okay? I don't know who needs to hear that, but this is pretty serious, okay, is what I'm getting here. You do not want to leave yourself destitute, honey. If you have a job right now and you feel like it's not really your forever job or it feels kind of temporary, it's not really like your favorite thing in the world, Spirit's saying hang in there. Look at that, Three of Swords in reverse. So I just did a quick reading on TikTok. I always do my little short readings over there, and then I hop on here and do my more in-depth reading. And a lot of times there's crossover, okay, because I hop right from one to the other, okay? So if you're not following me on TikTok, feel free to. I do 3-minute readings over there, so it's much quicker, you know, but I still manage to get out some pretty good messages over there, if I do say so myself, okay, in 3 minutes. But the Three of Swords in reverse is saying, don't break your own heart. That's what came up. You know, you don't want to suffer any more than you already have right now. Queen of Cups, you just stay in touch with your compassion, stay in touch with your love and your understanding, okay? And so like I said, you may be working a job right now that like irritates you, or you feel like you could do better or something like that. Just Spirit saying, try not to think negatively about people, places, situations right now, because this is your foundation. This is what you've got going on, okay? So don't just leap away from something without having some type of safety net, or without having, you know, a plan B, or like Spirit's saying, just protect your assets right now, okay? Protect your ass. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself, and don't break your own heart here just because you are feeling some sort of way. Like I said, you could be feeling triggered in relationships or in housing or something, and that could cause you to make some like drastic decisions. And typically, y'all, I would encourage you to take leaps of faith. I would encourage you to do better, you know what I mean? And to let go of things that aren't working for you, etc. But right now is not the time. I don't know why, but Spirit's saying you need to hang tight, okay? So you need to hold on to what you've got right now, and don't stress, okay, on like what's gonna happen if I continue down this path. What's gonna happen? The TikTok reading, there's some messages that came out that you have more options than you think you do, okay? So you know, don't be afraid to explore your options, but don't, hear me out. Don't ice out the options that you have right now to look for something better. Hold on to what you have right now while you look for something better, okay? And don't make that leap and take that transition until it is solid, okay? And like I said, y'all, if you know me at all, or you are, you know, listen to my readings, I know I've got some new folks in here recently, which thank you for being here. But if you know me at all, you know that like I'm a big proponent of taking a leap of faith, you know, and many times in my life I have said, well, you know what, I'm not going to wait for something solid, you know what I mean, to come in. I can't do this anymore, so I'm gonna end this, and then there's just gonna be this gap, right? And that's the leap, right? You're taking a leap into the unknown. Typically, I would encourage you to not be afraid to do that, and tell you to trust the universe. But like in this situation, it's telling me that now is not the time for that kind of thing. Like I don't know why, but there's some type of life transition happening for some of y'all, and it's something that you just have to hang on to the end of one cycle until you get to the next one. Like no leaps right now, okay? That's what I'm getting here. Two of Pentacles in reverse. It's like things are not balanced out enough for that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't, the free fall is just a big no-no right now, okay? It's almost like when you're juggling, right? There's moments where some balls are up in the air and some are in your hand, right? And then there's these moments where you don't have anything in your hand. So it's like Spirit's almost saying, because I'm thinking of the Two of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite, where they're juggling the two pentacles. It's almost like you don't want to be in a situation where that you don't have any pentacles in your hand, okay? Because it's just way too risky to do that right now. And I'm telling y'all, like, the economy is just, it's just a mess right now, okay? Housing is a mess. Everything is very much unstable. And so Spirit's saying here, you need to protect yourself in this time of uncertainty. And so now is not the time to take some type of risk and not know where you're going to lay your head at night, and not know, where your money's coming from. Like, if any of you out there are in an unstable situation where you're experiencing this hardship, right, already, then Spirit's saying you need to work with what you've got, even if it sucks. Okay. And that's something I would never encourage you to do. So this is a very weird, not unlikely, but this is a very unusual message that's coming through here. And it's a very serious one. I feel like Spirit is really wanting to warn you in a way that now is a time where, you know what I mean, you could slip and fall, and Spirit doesn't want you to fall ever. And so even if that means Spirit's saying you need to hang tight and work with what you've got, even if it's not the best right now, but it's a stepping stone. It's part of your journey. It's a part of your building process. And, you know, it's way too risky to be, you know what I mean, like taking any leaps. I don't know why Spirit is saying that, but it just feels very like you need to protect yourself, even if that means working that shitty job for a little while, you know what I mean? Or living in a place where you're like, oh, this isn't like, you know, ideal, but it's, you know, look on the bright side. This is what Spirit is saying too, is like, don't break your own heart here and make things seem worse than they are. It's probably better than, I mean, it could be worse, certainly. Oof. The Nine of Pentacles coming out in reverse. So you're just not in a position, like, y'all, I'm just saying, it's almost like, I wouldn't say you're not in a position to complain. That's not really what I mean, but you're just not in a position to be turning down, you know, things that are better than nothing. Okay. That's what I'm getting, like, that this is really talking about. It's kind of getting at, like, you, sometimes have to take the rose for its thorns. Okay. Sometimes things are not ideal, or they're not 100%, 110%, but if they're 80, 90, even 75, honey, Spirit's saying it's better than nothing. You need to take it. Okay, take it. Don't be afraid of it getting worse or something. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's like you're still building, you know? It's like, don't give up on the projects that you're working on now, even if it feels like it's not going anywhere, or it's not going fast enough, right? That this isn't building fast enough for you or something. The Magician at the bottom of the deck. Use the tools at your disposal, okay? Use what you've got now to build what you want. That's what Spirit's saying. This is like a very practical, stern kind of reading. This is almost like feeling very paternal, which, like, typically, like, you know, typically Spirit comes through as very, like, you know, nurturing and compassionate and encouraging and all these sorts of things. But this is kind of like, this is coming through as very stern and very paternal, which, like, typically I wouldn't. Look at that, Five of Wands. Sometimes you've got to fight for what it is that you need and what you want. Sometimes it's a fight. I'm also getting that it's highly competitive, again, with the Five of Wands. Right now is not the time to just dilly-dally, okay? And this is not to put pressure on you. This is almost like a wake-up call. This is almost like somebody who can see the landscape, okay, of your situation on a higher level, okay? And this is like, I'm talking about Spirit right now, can see the landscape and is saying, okay, this is a pretty, like, this is a pretty treacherous landscape, right? So in this kind of way, Spirit's saying that you have a fight ahead of you. And not only, like, ahead of you, like, things are going to be hard, all this sort of thing. But what Spirit is saying is that you need to move very wisely right now. And again, you are up against, you know what I mean, a highly competitive landscape. So Spirit's saying that you don't want to put yourself in a position where that you're like, and now listen, some of you out there are probably very compassionate and very kind and quick to help others and, you know, ready to, you know, sacrifice yourself in order to, you know, for the greater good, etc. Spirit is saying right now, you need to recognize something, okay? There is such a thing as hierarchy, whether we like it or not. Personally, I don't like it, okay? And I'll be very clear about that I don't encourage hierarchy. Sorry for the noise, the AC is kicking on, but I don't encourage hierarchy and I don't condone it necessarily, but it's the reality. So what Spirit is saying here is that you need to fight to keep your place, okay, in the hierarchy. Now, like I said, I don't really dig that, but this is the message. The message is you are up against a very competitive group, okay? This is a very competitive landscape when it comes to wherever you're at in life. And in general, okay, so this is saying in general in life, you are, you're facing a very competitive and treacherous landscape. Like I said, this is not to scare you, this is to empower you, okay? So that when you step up to the plate and when you are, trying to build your life forward, there is no sliding backward. You know what I mean? You are not, there's no sliding backward here. There's no room for that, okay? Unfortunately, the situation you're in now is that you need to fight for what it is that you have, and you need to fight to keep it, and you need to fight to continue to expand and grow and build your life, okay? And you be very serious about that. So this is what Spirit is saying, is that, don't shy away from that. Don't shy away from the reality of the situation. Don't shy away from conflict when it comes to fighting for what it is you have. And when I say conflict, I don't necessarily mean like actual confrontation, possibly, but you don't want to deal with that either. What I'm really saying is that you have to get comfortable with competing, and you need to make yourself a very astute candidate, okay? And this is so literal right now. Like, this is crazy, because typically these readings are very, existential and kind of zoomed out, but this is zooming right in and saying, look, let me be very clear, okay? So here's one of the messages that's coming through. Your resume, okay? And I'm not even playing with y'all. Like, this is very, very literal. If you want a better job, then you need to really, really set yourself up to stand out in the crowd and to really, really demonstrate your skills and demonstrate what you're capable of. Now, many of you may be kind of like, maybe a little bit like me, which you do projects on the side that aren't necessarily like employment, but they're skills that you have, and you are, attempting to kind of work your way up the ladder, so to speak, but you don't really have demonstratable evidence of your skills because you've never worked a job in that field before, but you want to break into that field. Well, it's highly competitive. So what Spirit is saying is you need to really sit down and go through in your mind and write notes, okay, and say, what can I actually do? What have I accomplished, okay? And how can I demonstrate that? And it may seem like intimidating, okay, to break into a new field, especially if you don't have a degree or you have no field of study or no experience, but you have the necessary skills to be able to step up to the plate for an entry position into a new field, okay? Like I said, this is getting super literal. So if any of you relate to this, please stick around for the rest of these messages, because this is really coming through. So something that I've done recently, and this is genuinely just by inspiration, okay? So I'm also going to do a series. I've decided on my channel too that I'm going to start doing short little videos about specific concepts, because these things come through so powerfully and so strong sometimes that it's like very, very clear concepts. And I want to be able to kind of like not crystallize, but I want to be able to make those stand on their own, okay? So I'm going to start doing videos like that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I love feedback. But so the 12 laws of the universe, okay? These are 12 laws that have been laid out, and they are, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't want to misspeak, but they have some kind of historical relevance as far as they've been around a long time. But one of the laws that people are most familiar with is the law of attraction. Okay, this is one of the most commonly talked about laws of the universe, right? The secret, right? Well, that's only one of 12. Okay, so I'm going to make a whole video about that, because I did a series on TikTok about the 12 laws. I did a video for each law, but I'd really like to lay it all out in one video and be able to reference people to it, because it comes up in the readings. But one of the other laws that I'm just going to reference here is the law of inspired action, okay? And it's one of my favorite laws because it is so validating to hear, because a lot of times in our culture, right, and especially in the spiritual, guidance world, a lot of people talk about the law of attraction. And so they say, well, you just need to open up. You just need to let go and embrace and be able to, invite things in. Okay. So you call in what it is you want rather than going out to get it, because, there's kind of an spoken inference, right? Like it's kind of inferred, or you know, kind of what's the word? It's kind of what's the word? It's where you kind of like you say something without saying it. It's insinuated, okay? It's insinuated that going out to get it is not the way to get what you want, right? That's what's insinuated through this law of attraction. Now, that's not necessarily true. I see it as an ebb and a flow. It's learning to know when to take action and when to step back and wait for the result, right? So it's the same thing in relationship. It's the same thing in work. It's the same thing in anything, right? I heard a quote recently that I thought was really cool, is that when you get a period from the universe, right, let that be the end of the sentence instead of trying to put a comma in there, right? So it's kind of similar. So you put in the work, you put in the action, you wait for the result. If the result is the end of the sentence, then that's the end of the sentence. You let it go, move on, right? Then you don't try and force it, right? So this is really kind of the concept here, is the balance between inspired action and the law of attraction, waiting for things to come to you. So with all that being said, to kind of lay the foundation for this message, it's saying that you need to set yourself up so that you can take inspired action. So this resume thing, right? Okay, so this is what I was getting at, that I felt divinely inspired to take action because I couldn't just put myself out there and be like, well, if it's meant to be, and you can do that. You should do that. That is a good attitude. But putting out what I'm like, putting out like a very like basic resume and then saying, well, if I'm meant to take this position, this entry level position into a new field that I've never been in before, that I feel confident I could do, but my resume doesn't really reflect that, and then just hope for the best. Y'all, I'm not even playing y'all, and I don't want to get super personal right now, but I'm just saying, sometimes you have to like step it up a notch. Okay. So what I did, and this is to inspire you guys and give you some ideas, okay, is that I actually went through and I spruced up my resume. I went through and I looked for any gaps of employment on my resume, and I thought back to, why did I have a gap in employment? And more often than not, there was a good reason for it. I was relocating, or I was traveling extensively, or et cetera, et cetera. There was reasons for it. So I went through and I spruced up my resume, okay, and I don't want to gatekeep because I think this is actually pretty innovative, but I put photographs of myself, okay, professional photographs of myself in my resume. I spruced it up where that there was some color, there was headers, and I made it like really palatable and visually appealing, right, for my resume. I took out the things that were just not necessary or that I felt like weren't relevant. And I went through and I described what each one of my positions entailed, and what were the skill sets that I learned, or what were the things that I applied on a daily basis. And I really, really went through and made it very detailed. And especially my positions that were of higher ranking or that were in professional fields rather than like customer service, which is still great for your resume. So don't take off, if you worked 3 or 4 years at a restaurant, keep that on there, because you don't want that to be a gap in employment either. So what I did was, after I did that, which it looks really so much better than it did before, I went down and I listed my relevant skill sets and my certifications, anything like that you have, even if it's just a food handler's card, or it's that you know how to use Google Docs. It doesn't matter. Put it in your resume, like put it in there. How long have you been doing it for? You know what I mean? Like I literally went through and was like, damn, well, I trained myself on QuickBooks, even though I've never worked a job that required it, but because I wanted to know how to use it. So I put that in there. And that's like real talk. Like I really went through and watched all of the instructional videos on QuickBooks, because I just wanted to know how to do it. And it's the same thing with any program you've ever used at any job, whether it was Zendesk or it was Google Calendar, it does not matter. Put it in your resume. And like, I'm just getting really like, maybe I should just make a whole video about that. But like I'm telling you, y'all, talk yourself up. Okay, talk yourself up and be really, really specific about your skill sets. And now the other thing I did that I think is pretty innovative, and I've never seen this before, so I think I honestly think I'm a little bit of a trendsetter, but I literally did an interview video, an application video of me talking about myself, and it's literally like 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's not that long. And I think I might make it an even better one, but it was just a way for people to see me, how I speak, and get a feel for my personality and my energy, and outline why I'm trying to get into a field that I've never been in before, and what are my interests and what are my skill sets, and why am I passionate about, continuing to expand and grow as an employee, right? Something like that. And I'm telling you, y'all, like, I have faith that that is going to help set me apart, because I've literally been trying to break into new fields and it's so competitive. Okay. It's very challenging. And so I really needed to demonstrate what I'm capable of in an innovative way. So Spirit is saying this is a highly competitive world right now. You know what I mean? And so use what it is that you have to get to where you want to go. Okay? So, I mean, this is like a very, look at this. Even the 10 of Swords in reverse. The 10 of Swords in reverse is saying, don't end what it is you have going on now until you have something better lined up. Okay? I'm telling you, like, keep looking for something better. Keep looking, but continue to work what it is you've got now, okay, in order to get to where it is you want to go. Okay, all right, how long is this reading so far? Okay, it's getting to be about 25 minutes. I got to go soon. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards, and then we're going to go ahead and close out this reading. If you did vibe with the reading, please do hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and make sure you hit the bell so that you know when I go live. I go live every Friday, where you can come and ask me your questions in the chat box for free, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. It is first come, first served, so if you come and you drop a question and I don't get to you right away, please just hang tight. I am moving down the line, and what I'll do is when I'm starting to get to the end of my rope, okay, because it takes a lot of energy, I will go through and I will choose the last question that I think that I'll be able to get to. So if your question is before that, then hang tight. If it's after that, I'm sorry, you'll have to either book me for a personal or come back next Friday, okay? Wow, so we're getting a lot of cards flying out here. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, we're gonna run through them really quick. King of Pentacles in reverse. So again, it's like you're not necessarily where you want to be yet. Okay, you maybe don't have the stability and the finances that you really would like to. So it unfortunately does not afford you a whole lot of room to turn things down or to walk away from things you have going now. You need to use what's at your disposal, even if it's not the best yet. Okay. Because you just can't, it's like the whole concept of like beggars can't be choosers, and it's not to be an a-hole, and it's not to tell you to put up with less than you deserve or put up with abuse or anything like that. I don't mean abuse, okay? Always hold your ground. But what I'm saying is that you're in a place of like, look at this, a little bit of suspension, okay? With the Hangman, you are learning from this, okay? So right now you may just be kind of stuck where you're at. You're never stuck, okay? You can always choose to make different directions and make different choices to take you in a different direction, but you need to be cautious. But look at this. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is all about communication, okay? Taking action. So again, you need to take action in this like highly competitive world and take real world action that will help take you to where you're trying to go. But like I said, just hold on and work with what you've got right now, okay? So again, this is a communication and action. 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is about being optimistic about your future. So like I said, it's not like I'm saying just to settle and stick with what you've got forever. That's not the message. The message is to use it to your advantage, okay? We're getting the Knight of Pentacles coming out in reverse as well. And the Knight of Pentacles came out earlier talking about sustained effort. So it's almost like, you know, it may seem futile, but don't give up. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to... it's like something has been coming in really slow, but Spirit's saying don't give up on it, okay? One more card. 8 of Cups. You will be able to walk away from what it is that you're doing right now soon enough, okay? Soon enough, the time will come. Lovers in reverse. Now is just a very challenging time when it comes to making choices for yourself and making choices for your life, you know what I mean? So Spirit's saying just chill. Look at that. The universe works fast when I'm having fun. So stay positive, okay? Don't get too melancholy and be like, oh, I really want to leave this place or this situation. It really sucks, blah, blah, blah. Like, see it for what it is as a stepping stone, okay? And it's here to help you. Dang, these cards are really sticky today. Didn't want to shuffle. Okay. Okay. Wow. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Spirit's just wanting me to say that. And what it's really, I think, trying to say is that sometimes we forget that what we're going through now is actually what we need to be experiencing. Okay? If that makes sense. Now, again, if it's abusive, that's not what I'm saying. Please take care of yourself, set boundaries, you know, get away from situations that that could be harmful to you, okay? But Spirit's saying that sometimes we think that we need, you know, the Rolls Royce, or we think that we need, you know, the Gucci belt or whatever bullshit, okay? Excuse my language, but that's just what's coming through, is like, forget what you think you need and work with what you've got. And then you're going to be feeling way less terrible about yourself because, oh, I'm not, you know, the bad bitch that I want to be. You know what I mean? I'm not the baller I want to be, or whatever it is, okay? Forget what you think you need and work with what you've got so that you can stay in a positive mindset. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you have not subscribed. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.